Hey everyone, I'm going to do my John Maxwell now, and it's a nice day here today. It's really beautiful, so I might go out for a walk. But I wanted to finish off my next chapter on it, and it's basically looking at St. Paul and how he's saying everything that he has gained is actually garbage. Everything is worthless compared to having Christ and knowing Christ and having that determination to stay on the path of his faith. So I did take some notes, and I'm going to sit down at my table and go through that with you. Normally I stand up, but today I woke up late because I only went to bed at 4 a.m. I got so busy doing things, applying for jobs. I did my laundry, I did some prayers, and the next thing I knew it was 4 a.m. So I woke up late, and I might look like death warmed over, but that's because I just got a few hours sleep, and I'll probably go to bed earlier today. So it's this same book, 21 Qualities of Leaders in the Bible, Developing Leadership Traits Inspired by Men and Women of Scripture. And I'm looking to build my ministry. I'm looking to provide retreats and spiritual direction, as well as focusing on building my Maxwell business. So I'm looking at some of these. And you might say, well, you shouldn't use the gospel to build a business. But everybody's doing it. Our universities are selling courses and they're making money from it. So why can't I do it? Because they make big money from selling, teaching, coaching. So I'm looking to do the same thing. And to make my money doing it, I'm looking to be able to travel like many Maxwell speakers do, and to go and do it in places like Zimbabwe, South Africa. That's always been my aim, is to see more of Africa and to provide it there. Because here in Canada, I have tried, and I'm not getting the support that I need from the Catholic Church, from the diocese in Toronto, from the business leaders. So maybe I'll have more success in America, because they do have prayer breakfasts here for women and men. And they've had them for a long time in the financial district. There's prayer meetings that take place over lunchtime. So there's a lot of things that they could have involved me in, and that I did reach out and ask. And there hasn't been that support. But everything starts with an idea. Whether you're in America or whether you're in Africa or Canada, it starts with an idea. And it's an idea that somebody plants in you. It might be like it was for me, Damien Howard, who said you should look into becoming a spiritual director, and then you can help others. You can help in the church. You can earn a living from that. Or it might be somebody else in your family who says, you know what, you should think about going into getting a university education, or think about taking some courses. Even if you couldn't do it in your teenage years, you can do it now. I did that for my sister. I told her, I've got friends in South Africa. They've got children, but they went and they did their MBAs later in life, studying part-time. So I did that for my brother too. I encouraged them to do things and to come up and to keep improving their skills, because otherwise we're going to be left behind, because nobody cares about us. Nobody's investing in us, so we have to do it on our own. And John Maxwell says the same thing. If you don't invest in yourself, nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to do it for you. They say people don't know how much you know until they know how much you care. But nobody cared about us. Nobody cared about us when we were going through the Civil War, when we came here as immigrants, when we asked for help. Nobody helped us. Nobody cared if we would land up living on the street, if we didn't have food, if we didn't have clothes. So we had to find that faith in ourselves, because the one who cares for us, the one who loves us, is Jesus. And if we know that love and that faith, we can believe in ourselves, and we can go out and we can help to transform the world around us. Just like we did in Zimbabwe, in Kwekwe, in Bulawayo, in Harare, we're doing the same things in the countries we're in now, in Canada, in England. We can do it. So this reading today was Philippians 3:7-14, and it's about keeping the focus. So Paul loses everything for the sake of Christ, and he considers everything that he's lost garbage, because to him, Christ is the most important thing. And it means keeping his goal in mind. So how does his statement relate to focus? How does it relate to priorities? How are those two things different? So focus is keeping our end goal in mind. When we're done with this life, when everything's said and done, we're not going to take anything with us. We're going to leave behind all our good actions, all our possessions, everything. We could have a fire like happened in LA, or we could be kicked out of our countries like we were, like our I was, and be told by our parents, don't come back, we don't know what's going to happen here, and land up living out of a suitcase like I did. Or we could land up losing all our jobs, losing our properties, like happened to me many times in Canada. And if we don't keep that focus and keep that faith in the Lord, we will land up just going down. You'll lose your mental health, your physical health. You'll just land up losing everything, because the people around you are not going to help you. In America and here in Canada, their solution is, well, we'll help you get well by giving you drugs. It's too much for you to cope with. You can't cope with this. You need to take some medication in order to cope. And if you don't take that medication, it's going to be impossible for you to cope. That's the way that they sell it. So we have to keep our focus on the Lord. And our priorities will come out of that. Our priorities will be determined by that. St. Ignatius, in the Ignatian tradition, they have a saying that says, fall in love and stay in love, and it will decide everything. It's the love that we have for Christ and that Christ had for us, the love of Christ for his bride, that helps us to love other people. If we don't have that love, that is our source, you can't love other people. What does Paul say he's focusing on? So he tells us he's focusing on his end goal, which is to get to heaven. He doesn't care about anything else. Anything else is garbage. How do you think Paul's focus relates to his leadership? So his leadership comes out of that. Even when he loses everything, he starts over, and you'll find that now I'll use the LA fires as an example. Mel Gibson is one of the famous actors who's lost everything. And he's saying, I might have lost everything, but I have my faith. And because of that faith, I can start over and I can come up again. And there are many people who have lost everything in life, including me, and have had to start over with nothing. And that's the faith, that belief that if we have Christ, all things are possible, because Christ strengthens us. And there's some questions in here that we can reflect on. Who do we relate to? Because there's 3 different characters that I've covered in this chapter. On Nehemiah ignoring the opposition and focusing on rebuilding the temple. On Jesus helping Peter to regain his focus, and then on St. Paul putting his life in perspective. And we can see which one we relate to and why. And for all of us, we all go through periods where we have lows, we have highs. Especially like for us in Canada, this thing about, oh, the country is not doing well, we're going to fix it, we're going to change it. It's been going on like this since I came here. It's not new. It's not new. It started when I first came to Canada, they had that theme. Then they had 2008, we went into that great recession. So it's the same theme. Now Donald Trump's coming into power. Now they're blaming Donald Trump. It's the same theme over and over and over. Nothing's changing. Nothing's getting better. So for us, we can be like Peter saying, Lord, I've been waiting. I've been fishing for a long time. When is my catch going to come? Or we could be like St. Paul, evaluating our lives and looking at our lives in perspective and saying, at the end of the day, I'm going to leave all this anyway. So I'm just going to persevere, take action, be determined, focused on the idea of what I want to achieve, what I want to accomplish, what my goals are, and work towards them. Because I can tell you now with my goals, with every goal I've had, I've always been told I'm never going to accomplish it. I'm never going to achieve it. I'm never going to graduate. I'm never going to go to England on a working holiday. They're not taking people anymore. I'm never going to get a master's degree. I'm never going to be a speaker. I'm never going to live in America. All the things they said I couldn't do, I've done. And now I'm working towards going to America. It's a better spirit for me. It's a spirit of adventure, of bravery, of taking risks, taking chances. It's a better fit for who I am than Canada is. It's the same reason I enjoyed England. The monarchy is it's just there in England. It's pageantry. That's why I enjoyed England. Because everything's coordinated. Oh, you must look after your boss. You must make your boss look good. Do you see how it looks? I'm not that kind of a person. So I'm trying every day to go to America or to go back to England. And I'm not just doing these talks. I'm taking action. I'm applying. I'm putting my feelers out there. I'm doing my music. I'm doing everything I can. Or maybe there'll be an American company here that I can work for as an executive assistant or in HR. Maybe that will happen. But I'm not going to give up on my hopes and my dreams and what I want to do, including making the money I want to make, because believe you me, they've kept me under 50,000 a year in this country on purpose. When I bought my place, everyone was shocked at TD. You bought a place, you just came here. I said, yeah, I bought it on a high-end mortgage. They gave it to me. And then they let me go. Knowing that my mother was coming, they told me that's not our problem. Your mother's coming, that's good luck to you. So, yeah, good luck to me. But it's not about luck. It's about keeping your faith and being determined and persevering and doing what you need to do to help. I still help them. I still help this country despite everything that they do to me. I still help them. And then the next question is, how were the three leaders in these passages able to remain focused? You may want to credit their ability to God's call on their lives, but that doesn't explain everything. Every person who believes in God and chooses to follow him can be said to have a call of God on his or her life, yet many don't remain focused on fulfilling it. What empowered these leaders to be effective? So they had to be able to assess what is happening around them. They had to be able to assess whether they were being distracted from their goals and their faith and what they want to accomplish for God. And they had to be able to put on what we call the armor of Christ, and to be able to put our lives in perspective, because at the end of the day, we all dust. We're all going to land up in this ground, and our dust particles are going to land up in the air and in the stars and in this universe. So we have to put it into perspective. It doesn't matter if you are sitting on a board today earning $1 billion, or if you're like me, sitting at home and applying for jobs and volunteering and trying to reach your goal of earning what you want to earn, or being where you want to be, traveling, whatever it is you want to do. At the end of the day, we're all going to land up dying and going back to God. So what I think is that if you look at these passages, it's one, the internal motivation. The second one is Jesus comes to encourage. Jesus comes and he encourages Peter, the one he's chosen, the one he's called the rock. He doesn't do it for everybody around him. He only does it for Peter, because from Peter will come the rest of the disciples' strength and leadership and following Christ. And then with St. Paul, again, it's that faith, that internal focus that leads to action. So those were the questions in this chapter, and that was what I focused on. And you see that with Jesus too. Today's scriptures were about Jesus healing the little girl and also healing the woman who had been sick for many, many years, and how Jesus gets ridiculed, he gets laughed at, and they tell him, don't even come anymore, like the little girl is dead now. So they tell them, don't bother the master, don't bring him, the little girl is dead now. But Jesus goes and he says she's only sleeping, and they laugh at him. They say, she's not sleeping, she's dead. And then he says, Talitha kum, little girl, get up. And Jesus he knows that power within him. He knows God working in his life. And he puts that faith in God and he takes action. He doesn't say to them, oh, okay, she's dead, okay, I'm not coming. Let's go, let's carry on, go to the next case. That's very interesting, Jesus. Very interesting, loving young man. Oh, he's Satan. Isn't that what they said about him? He's Satan. Oh, look at her. How can she achieve all that? She must be possessed. Right? That's what they do to us. That's what they did to Elvis Presley. It's not. If you know me, you know I haven't changed. I just used to keep things to myself. And the people that know me, my brother knows me, my sister knows me. I have this adventurous spirit. I'm very bored here in this country. So my adventure is walking in the park. That's my adventure. But I give thanks for all my blessings to God and to what God has done and accomplished in my life. And maybe one day I'll go back to Damien Howard. He doesn't want to take me. No, I tell all the Jesuits, whenever they invite me to do something for them, I say, tell Damien Howard I want to come back to England. And they're like, you know him? I said, yeah, I know him. Tell him I want to come back. But they don't take me. So anyway, those are the readings for today. And those are what I focused on. And apparently South African Jesuits have changed too. So there's big changes going on there. I asked them also, don't you want me to come back? They're like, oh, the society has changed. It's not like how when you were here. I'm like, oh, God, this adventurous gospel that you called me to is not very adventurous right now. It's very boring compared to what it was for me in Africa and England. So I'm like, Peter, where is the other side that I'm supposed to throw my net, Lord, and get my big catch? So that's it for today. I hope you got something out of it. I also do pray. I ask God to guide me in my decisions, just like many Christians. And that's what I focused on today. Now I'm going to go and enjoy the sunshine.